happened weather-wise here in the Piedmont Triad over the past 24 hours. Ian, no more. It's nothing more than a little wimpy area of low pressure that is moving up into southwestern Virginia. But let's kind of go back in time and talk about yesterday. Rain moved into our part of the Piedmont pretty early on Friday morning, and it only increased and got heavier as we went through the day and especially through the afternoon. And of course, those winds increased as well. Now, Ian made landfall with maximum sustained winds of 85 miles per hour at 5 minutes after 2 on Friday afternoon at Georgetown, South Carolina. Now, storm surge, or that wall of water that is pushed inland as the storm approaches land, the storm surge was anywhere from 5 to 7 feet. The good news with the landfall in South Carolina yesterday, it occurred during low tide. Now, when Ian was a Category 4 storm and moved inland in southwestern Florida, that was the time of high tide along the west coast of Florida, and storm surges were estimated anywhere from 12 to 18 feet. Hence, just horrendous damage along the coast of Florida, and then the winds are really causing damage inland as well. But here's where the remnant low is located as of the 11 o'clock advisory. It's about 160 miles to the west-southwest of Richmond, Virginia. Look at these winds. The winds continue to decrease. Sustained winds at about 20 to 25 miles per hour. It's changed direction a little bit, moving north-northeast at 10 miles per hour. We think it'll stay on that track for a while and then likely take more of an easterly track later on tonight, and we think that remnant low is going to be tracking eastward across Virginia during the day tomorrow and tomorrow night, and then by Monday it will eventually move offshore. But it's just an insignificant leftover area of low pressure with very little wind. The threat of damaging winds, heavy rain, flash flooding, that is long gone from our part of the Piedmont. When these tropical systems move inland, of course, they weaken, being cut off from the energy, the very warm tropical waters of the ocean, and they start to lose their strength. The wind decreases, but also the storms kind of expand outward, and certainly Ian has done that. We've had heavy rain all the way up into New England this morning. Earlier, we had some heavier rain northern New Jersey, around New York City and Long Island. That has shifted a little bit to the east, but some of that is moving out around Cape Cod and the Boston, Massachusetts area. Very little wind here, but certainly some heavy downpours as this batch of rain continues to move on to the north and to the northeast. Now here locally, just some drizzle. Drizzle quite often is very difficult to be detected, even by our powerful radar, but it's out there, and also some scattered, mainly light showers as you head on up into Virginia. I think this will track to the north, and then as the low takes more of an easterly track, we're going to see some of this wiggle its way back south as we go into the overnight period and during the day on Sunday. But any more showers that we get, and we do have them in the forecast all the way until Monday morning, any rain is going to be very, very light across our part of the Piedmont, not going to cause any problems, and is just barely going to accumulate in rain gauges across the area. That certainly wasn't the case on Friday. As a matter of fact, the greatest impacts in our part of the Piedmont from the storm were Friday afternoon and Friday night, and then by this morning things started to improve rather quickly. But check out these rainfall maps, or these rainfall totals for the calendar day on Friday. A little over 2 inches of rain in Greensboro, over 2.5 inches of rain in Burlington, 1.47 wind Winston-Salem. And again, this is the day on Friday, 1.84 in Lexington, 1.28 in Asheboro, and we've had nearly 3 inches of rain, over 3 inches of rain at Raleigh, and about an inch of rain in Sanford and Southern Pines, and even our western areas getting in on the heavier downpours, and anywhere from an inch to about an inch and a quarter. Wind gusts for yesterday, our highest wind gust was 51 miles per hour on Friday, and 45 mile per hour wind gusts Winston-Salem. So our forecast wind gusts really verified. We were talking about 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts, but certainly wind gusts between 45 and 50 miles per hour. Now for today, the rainfall amount's much less, but we've had more rain along the Virginia border. For today, Saturday, Mount Airy, a little over an inch of rain, about an inch in Martinsville, just under a half of an inch of rain in Greensboro, and about a half of an inch, a little more at Smith Reynolds Airport and over in Burlington, just a tenth of an inch of rain over in Wilkesboro. Today's wind gusts came just after midnight up until about 4 o'clock. There was a 4-hour period after midnight where we had some gusty winds in the neighborhood of 30, 32 miles per hour. You can see even up at Martinsville, a 30 mile per hour wind gust. There are no wind gusts now across the area. Sustained winds are just barely moving across the Piedmont. Occasionally the winds up 5, 6, 7, 9 miles per hour across our part of the Piedmont. Notice some of these points not showing any data. That's because of power outages across the area. Now, as we take a live look over Winston-Salem, we've got plenty of clouds. These clouds are producing mainly drizzle, some spotty patches of light rain, and that's about it. Temperatures for the most part in the mid and upper 50s across the area. We're at 58 over at Smith Reynolds Airport, and we're seeing temperatures generally mid and upper 50s. I think we can make it to the low 60s today, but I'm not totally sure about mid 60s. I'm forecasting 64. We are going to keep certainly a lot of clouds for the afternoon. Little rain along the Virginia border. Other areas will see some pretty heavy drizzle from time to time. This recedes to the north later on today, but by tomorrow it starts to head to the south as the low turns and moves across Virginia. So I think tomorrow night, and even early on Monday morning, a little wraparound moisture will bring us just a few spotty showers, but it's not going to accumulate very much at all in the rain gauge. The remnant low will slowly move across Virginia, and by Monday morning it's going to be moving offshore, and once it does, we kind of cut off this wraparound moisture with clouds and spotty light rain, and I think by Monday afternoon we'll start to see a little more sunshine, and then we'll just progressively see more in the way of sunshine as we head through the week. And as you'll see in the 7-day in just a minute, that's going to help to really warm things up as we go through the week. Today though, probably staying, we'll say upper 50s and lower 60s with a lot of clouds, some off and on scattered showers, but mainly in the Triad it's just been pockets of drizzle. And note the winds here. Westerly winds 10 to 15, maybe gusting up as high as 20. No problems there whatsoever. And then tonight, some spotty drizzle, lots of clouds, maybe some fog developing tonight. We'll see some off and on scattered, very light showers as temperatures dip into the mid 50s, around 55. 7-day forecast, it's going to get brighter in the Piedmont. We'll keep a low rain chance in for tonight, tomorrow, and early on Monday. Temperatures into the low 60s through Monday. More sunshine, we start to warm up. Temperatures will be up about 67 on Tuesday, and by Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to be in the 70s. How about 73 on Thursday? Thanks a lot for joining me. This is the latest update. You have a great afternoon.